Alright, thank you very much for clicking on the video. This is Gulpane, just back with a quick PSP review. And this one is Pursuit Force Extreme Justice. And this was developed by Big Studios and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. And it was released in 2007 and other areas in 2009. So this one is a sequel to the original Pursuit Force. Now the original Pursuit Force was okay, but it was a bit limited, I think. You had a few different like enemy gangs, I guess, to pursue, and you drove around after them. There was different missions as well, and you drove around after them. You had to jump into their cars and jump into different cars and arrest them and stuff, or you had to follow them, or you had to kind of escort people to the airport, all that good stuff. Whereas Pursuit Force Extreme Justice, this takes a much more kind of in-your-face action crash TV sort of approach. So you can tell by the start of it that it's not taking itself too seriously. As there's a hilarious cutscene at the start where one of the characters, the main characters, is getting married to one of the other police characters, and she's in a wedding dress, but he's in his police uniform, and then all the guests are in their police uniform as well. And then these insane people come and basically crash the wedding, and then you chase after them, and yeah, that's pretty much how the game is. Then it's kind of like it's not taking itself too seriously at all, which is really refreshing. And a lot of the kind of enemy characters as well. It's like kind of I don't want to say like General Chaos from the Mega Drive or something kind of like that, where it's like they're not really, it's not really like trying to be too realistic either. This one, it's similar to the first one, where you start off in a car and you're chasing the enemy characters or the criminals, and then you have to jump into different cars. You can jump into kind of larger vehicles in this one as well, and also you have the water based levels where you're in like a hovercraft thing, a police hovercraft, and you can basically jump into other hovercrafts. There doesn't seem to be any petrol or diesel meter for this, so you seem to have like unlimited fuel, but your vehicle does have a health meter. You have a health meter, and then you jumping into the different cars puts your health down, and also getting attacked by the enemy characters. But when you jump into a different vehicle, then obviously the vehicle's health meters do differ. So there's plenty to do in this game. It's not like you're not limited either by just going from one stage to another stage to another stage. You can choose which order you do the similar to the first game as well. There was there's like an overall enemy, like the mafia or the military, like a rogue commandos. You can pick which order you want to progress the story in. This one the story seems to be not more advanced than the first game, but it seems to be more, I don't know, the story just seems to be a bit more developed in this game as opposed to the first game, which doesn't really happen in some games. Some games start off with a very good story, and then by the time you get to the second or third game, it's just all action. But this one definitely is, it just feels a bit more actiony than the first game. I don't know how to explain it. It's a very similar premise, obviously, because you're in the police and you're using vehicles in order to catch these like high speed criminals, and you have to jump from one vehicle to another in order to eventually catch the criminal. Maybe this one is just faster or something, and there's a lot more kind of funny dialogue in this as well. There is funny dialogue in the first one, but this one has some good writing in it, and it kind of breaks up the game and keeps you entertained, I think, anyway. So overall, then, I think this one is probably I'd rather play this one than the first one. The first one has the first Pursuit Force has it's not a very popular game, I don't think. It does have its sort of charm, the first game, with the the kind of I don't want to say funny criminal element, but the criminals are sort of they're kind of comedic as well. They're like kind of comic book criminals, but they're still kind of based in reality somewhat, but they're still kind of they remain, I don't know how to describe it. They remain kind of comic book in style, and the writing in both games is good as well. However, I think the writing is a little better in this game, with the things that your fellow police kind of say to you. So yeah, both games very similar. There's not a huge difference between them. To be honest, it's kind of there's not a great development in this game as in the first game, which is probably why I think they didn't get any sequels, because they didn't progress. Usually you have like a, you know, like part 1 of a game, and then part 2 then is not extremely different, but it's different in such a way that it kind of makes the game better, or sometimes it makes the game worse as well. So at least they kind of kept the same formula. So Pursuit Force Extreme Justice, pretty good. You should give it a try. I like it anyway. And I said Pursuit Force was the first game I ever played in the PSP, so I have a special side of nostalgia for it as well. So if you've played Pursuit Force Extreme Justice, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Adios.